Hey, hey, I's married now. I's married now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hi, how you all doing? I'm Courtney Rollins, Life and Transitions Experts podcast host and the owner of Estate Pro Service, and here with some more content after a very great, awesome weekend. As I said, I just got married 11/18/2023. Today is 11/20/2023, so we're having a little delayed vacation honeymoon and I snuck back into the office, so don't tell my new wife. Hope I'm not starting off too bad. But hey, gotta get uh, that content out there to you all, so hopefully it'd be helpful to you. And today we're actually going to take a look at what happens or some tips for if you are about to get married or if you have a future spouse or maybe you have a spouse and you're thinking about buying property where it's the house or rental or anything is really important for you to consider a couple of six things. And so since this is very relevant to me, I hope and thought it might be relevant to you all out there. So let's go over six things that you may want to consider or discuss or questions you may want to ask each other before you buy property, specifically in North Carolina. All right, so let's see. Number one, what are your long-term goals? Is when you talk about this property, is this something that they're thinking of, even with not just the property, of course, this is a question that should be asked. You making sure that your goals are aligned. What's the old, I think, Chinese proverb, sleeping in one bed and having two different dreams? Hopefully you have very similar same dreams. Hopefully you still get to keep your autonomy and all, but you all are a unit now, so hopefully you all have shared dreams and your thoughts about what's happening in the future are not so different or hopefully very aligned with their thoughts so that there's no complications as things move on, particularly with a property or a house. Another thing is you should definitely have the conversation about finances. One of the biggest stressors in a relationship quite often is conversations about money and finances, but you need to have the conversation. Let's grow up, let's be open, let's be compassionate towards each other, but let's have that real conversation and build some trust with transparency of what the situation is because we need to know who's going to contribute to the down payment, the mortgage, ongoing expenses. What are the credit scores that are going to impact that purchase? So you need to assess each other's individual income and how you all are going to come together to make this happen. So there aren't any surprises during the process of purchasing a property or a home. And again, this is for property of any type coming together. And also, how will ownership be divided? This is similar to the question number six that well, I won't burst the bubble, but in North Carolina, you need to know, is this going to be bought under joint tenancy or tenancy in common? Those have very different implications. Go back and check out the old, well, actually not that old, recent conversation or recent content that I put out on my YouTube channel. And while you're there, you might as well hit a subscribe. And you might as well send me some great topics that you want covered, and I'll go research if I don't have the information or answer, or find the people who do and share. Great time for a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor or an attorney, and I'm not playing one on my YouTube channel. I am simply sharing my experience so that it hopefully can add value to folks and people can take this opinion as, like a buffet, take it or leave it. And hopefully it does help a lot of people. But you have the conversation, how will the stuff be divided? How will ownership be divided? There are legal implications. Check out a legal professional in North Carolina. If you need to holler at one, reach out to me and I can connect you with some awesome folks. That fits you all's particular situation. You also need to know, how will the monthly expenses and the mortgages be handled? All right. Are you splitting them down equally? Is it proportion? What is their financial arrangement? And I would ask you to consider having a space or routine where you can continue to revisit that just in case things do change. Um, we have a weekly, we started before we even got married, a weekly family meeting so that we can look at our 90-day goals that are connected to our shared goals that are, out in the future, so that we're moving forward and working on put the first things first, the important things first, right? And one of those conversations always is our, financial situation and things of that nature. So it seems to be working for us on day two of marriage. but but I definitely encourage you all to have that conversation. Again, you don't want any surprises, and you want to have a sustainable financial arrangement. Also, this is a sad and tough, challenging grown-up conversation to have, but what happens if the relationship ends? Not just if someone passes away, but But what happens when the relationship ends? You may want to consider drafting up some co-ownership agreement, or again, talking to some professional to see what different options are out there for you. You know, if there's a separation, or there might be opportunity for property to be divided, or a potential buyout, or perhaps it's something that, hey, we've ended this relationship, but we're continuing this financial relationship here. If you are talking about business partners, they say prepare for the divorce before you prepare for the marriage and relationship with a business partner. And marriage can really be looked at as a business entity as well. So maybe a tough question to ask, but it's definitely an important question to review. And finally, please have a thorough understanding of whatever state you're in, or county or jurisdiction. What are the legal implications of having this property together? Again, joint tenancy in common have very specific uh, ways that the property is owned, ways that it can be sold. That is very different based on those two aspects. And there's probably other legal aspects that a legal professional can support you in understanding and being clear on. If you want support in any way when it comes to thinking about property, whether you're buying or selling, I love to support, love to help. We try to take a heart, head, and hands on approach where we address you with empathy because we know that your situation is maybe different from other folks' situation. And then we try to put our heads together to come up with some great options for you and then get to work with our hands. So feel free to reach out. You see the number there, and you can check out the website, estateproservice.com. Would love to connect with you. It's Courtney with the Life and Transitions Experts podcast. Signing off as I always do, saying, let your light shine. Cheers.